Let us come to the second factor that is responsible for the rate of chemical reaction, and that factor is size of particles of reactants. What is the size of particles that you are using to carry out the reactants? So here this one example we have taken, that is calcium carbonate solid is made to react with hydrochloric acid, that is aqueous. So we have taken dilute HCl and we are getting the products calcium chloride. Write down here calcium chloride and water and carbon dioxide gas. Coming to the balancing part of this, we have got two chlorine atoms here and two hydrogen atoms here, whereas on this side you have one hydrogen and one chlorine. To balance, you write a coefficient 2. Whereas all the other atoms, calcium, carbon and oxygen, are all balanced. Here we have one calcium, here also one, carbon is 1, here also 1, and oxygen is 3. Here we have 1 plus 2, that is 3. So the reaction is balanced. Now the same reaction, in order to understand this factor that we are studying, size of particles of reactants, we have drawn two test tubes here. In one test tube, we have taken pieces of calcium carbonate, and on the other, we have taken powdered CaCO3. So fine powder of calcium carbonate is taken. 10 ml hydrochloric acid, that is dilute hydrochloric acid, is added to both the test tubes. As soon as you add the acid, the reaction starts taking place and the products will be formed. You have to observe whether carbon dioxide gas is evolved faster with powdered CaCO3 or whether it is with pieces of CaCO3. So here we find that the bubbles of carbon dioxide gas are more in this test tube, whereas in this test tube you can see only a few bubbles rising. These bubbles are referred to as effervescents. So these are effervescents. So you have to see the effervescence of CO2. We find that the effervescence of CO2 is more in quantity, or the release of CO2 is faster with powdered calcium carbonate, whereas it is slower with respect to pieces of CaCO3. Now, what is the reason behind it? What is the difference between the pieces that we have taken and the powdered form of calcium carbonate that we have taken? So the reason lies that in these pieces, only the molecules of calcium carbonate which are on the surface of these pieces are available for reaction. Those which are inside are not available for reaction. So the process becomes slow. But when the same reactant is taken in the powdered form, many molecules are available for reaction with hydrochloric acid, and you find that the rate of reaction becomes faster, or the evolution of carbon dioxide gas is also faster. So I hope you have understood this. That is, smaller the size of particles, the greater is the rate of reaction. So most of the reactants that we, or the chemicals that we make use of in the laboratory, are in the form of fine powder, so that the rate of reaction can be increased. So with this we conclude that if smaller the size of the particles, the greater or faster is the rate of chemical reaction. This is as simple as you can do it at home by taking granules of sugar and trying to dissolve them in water. And the same sugar, if you have taken it in the fine powdered form and you add it to water, obviously the powdered sugar disappears faster. So this is one more factor that decides the rate of chemical reaction. Now let us go on to the next factor. In this slide, we are studying two more factors that govern the rate of chemical reaction. The first factor that we are studying is concentration of reactants. Let us start with an example. If I want to prepare 10% of hydrochloric acid solution, I would take a beaker with 90 ml water and 10 ml hydrochloric acid will be added to it. This makes my 10% of hydrochloric acid solution. In second beaker, I take 80 ml water and to that I add 20 ml of hydrochloric acid. This makes it 20% of hydrochloric acid solution. Subsequently, if I take another couple of beakers with say 70 ml water and 60 ml water, and to that if I am adding 30 ml hydrochloric acid or 40 in the next one, 40 ml of hydrochloric acid in the another beaker. So what do I get? What am I doing rather? I am increasing the percentage of hydrochloric acid every time. In the first beaker I had 10% HCl, in the second I had 20, third 30, and in the fourth I had 40% of HCl solution. So every time what am I doing is I am increasing the concentration of my reactants. So if I carry out the reaction that we studied in the previous slide, that is calcium carbonate with hydrochloric acid. If I carry out the reaction using 10% HCl, I find that the rate of evolution of CO2 is slowest. But if I carry out the same reaction using 40% HCl, I find that the rate of evolution of carbon dioxide gas has increased. So this determines the concentration factor that is responsible for the rate of chemical reaction. Greater the concentration of reactants, the faster is the chemical reaction. I hope you have understood this factor. That is, higher the concentration of the reactants, faster is the reaction. Fourth factor, temperature of the reaction. Temperature is another important factor. We generally find that reactions take place faster if we heat the reactants. Heating reactants help us to complete a given reaction in a lesser period of time. For example, calcium carbonate does not decompose on its own to give you calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. You need to heat in order to get carbon dioxide and calcium oxide. So the decomposition takes place only when heating is brought about. So here we come across another factor that is responsible for rate of chemical reaction, and that is temperature. As you heat the contents, the rate of reaction increases. So this is one more factor that is responsible for rate of chemical reaction. One more factor in the next slide. Coming to the last factor of rate of chemical reaction, and that is catalyst. Catalyst plays a very important role in deciding the rate of a chemical reaction. We can faster the chemical reactions using a catalyst. One we have already studied in the beginning of the lesson, that is hydrogenation of vegetable oil. We had studied it as a word reaction, and we had taken vegetable oil plus hydrogen gas when you are passing, and you are using nickel as a catalyst and you get fats. So that was one example that we had studied of catalyst, and now we will study some more examples and then understand the definition of catalyst. So the first example is potassium chlorate, KClO3, that is potassium chlorate. Now the decomposition, as you can see, both the examples that we have taken are of decomposition. The decomposition does not take place on heating nor on reducing particle size. So potassium chlorate, even if the temperature is increased, that is we are heating it strongly or we are using it in the powdered form, does not substantially increase the rate of reaction. But adding just a small quantity of manganese dioxide, that is MnO2. So manganese dioxide, if it is used as a catalyst, very small quantity is required and we can substantially increase the rate of chemical reaction, and we can increase the rate at which oxygen is going to be given out. So the products are potassium chloride and oxygen gas. So this evolution of oxygen gas can be very rapid with the help of manganese dioxide as a catalyst. Another reaction, this is hydrogen peroxide. We have again come across this. Products are water and oxygen. Again, to increase the rate at which oxygen is given out, again manganese dioxide, very small quantity is required, and you can easily increase the rate at which O2 is given out. So catalyst is a substance which does not interfere in the chemical reaction. You do not get any undesired products. So it does not involve any chemical change in the use of this catalyst. It will not change your products, but it will only increase the rate of reaction and you will be able to achieve your products in a small time. So how do we define a catalyst? The substance in whose presence the rate of chemical reaction changes without causing any chemical change to it is called as a catalyst. So mostly a catalyst is required in very small quantity. That is one benefit, and it increases the rate of reaction and it does not bring about any chemical change in the reaction. So these are some examples of catalyst, and with this we come to the end of the factors that affect the rate of chemical reaction, and in the next video or in the slide you will be seeing and learning another type of reaction which are called as oxidation reaction, reduction reaction and redox reaction.